Hi everyone, I just want to get two topics off my head for today on this vlog, and one of them is the Spiel des Jahres. The Spiel des Jahres has been announced, the winners have been announced, and I'm pretty happy overall with the results. Just to sort of let you know exactly what they were, the Kinderspiel I don't pay a lot of attention to, but if you're interested, the Kinderspiel was basically to something called Tal de Wikinger, whatever, I can't pronounce it, but it's called Valley of the Vikings, I believe. It's a children's dexterity game. Well done to you for winning it. I know nothing about that game though. I never really pay attention to that category, I do have to admit. But the Kennerspiel and the Spiel des Jahres are the ones that I do pay a lot of attention to. So the Spiel des Jahres, this came down between Just One, a game called Llama, which I'm not entirely certain what that game is, and Werewords, or Werewörter, as it was the German version. This one, like I say, I was happy enough for either of those to win. I don't know anything about the Llama one, but Werewords is a solid game. I believe it's probably still sitting on my shelf somewhere around here. But I had to admit, I have recently played Just One. In fact, Just One is, here we go. Just One is on my shelf. I recently purchased it, and it's staying in my collection. And Just One is the Spiel des Jahres winner. So this is a very simple party game. It's the same team that apparently brought Seventh Continent to some of you in the world, not to me. But Just One is a co-op party game where you, as a group, must guess up to 13 cards correctly. And it's basically just a case of trying to get the highest score. But what you're doing is one of you has got to guess the clue word, and it's facing away from you, and you pick randomly by number off the thing which clue word it's going to be. And then all the other players on these like dry erase sort of like easels have to basically write down a clue word that's going to help you get the word. So you've got these pens in here. You have your, little easel that you can do. You write it down, you reveal it to all the other players, but if any of you have written down the same word or close enough, they get wiped out. You scrub them off, and they're no longer available for the other person to guess. So it's a case of you're trying to come up with a useful clue word, but not think too much like the rest of your team because, but then that can cause a lot of weird thinky problems because it's like, right, we got to describe circus. Well, clown, so obvious. Somebody's going to put clown. But will they? Will they? Maybe they're going to hide from it. And then if none of us put clown, that's a really good clue word, but is he going to put clown? He's really obvious. He's going to put clown, isn't he? I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to put clown. And we're good. And oh, you put clown. Ah. It's like, you get stuff like that. And it's hilarious when, if you have less players in the game, this tends to happen more often. It goes up to 7. But when you write down the same clue word, and then the other person goes, right, can I look now? Yep, and guess. And there's nothing. It looks like scorched earth in front of him. So it's like, have fun guessing the clue word. Bacon. No, for crying out loud, it was clearly serendipity, you moron. It's like, the clue words are not that difficult, but you get what I mean. So you've got a very simple premise. Just try and guess as many of these clue words as you can. Just straight up, for example, what we got: cane, musketeer, Fred, tulip, and IKEA. Interesting that IKEA is on here, actually. Some clue words are harder than others, depending on your perspective, but, you get a barrel of laughs with this one. But, well, I say a barrel of laughs, it depends on the group, and depends what comes up. It's not one that you're going to be laughing, like falling out of your chair over. There are some other party games that will do that. But you get some good chuckles, you have fun trying to help each other. It's a co-op, which means that you're all kind of, on the same team, and that's always a plus point. We need more co-ops, I think, these days. So, congratulations to Just One for the Spiel des Jahres. And then the Kenner Spiel des Jahres, this was between Wingspan, as if anybody needs any introduction as to what Wingspan is. I think it's in the other room. Carpe Diem, which is by Stefan Feld. I have not played it. I have no intention of playing it. You know me by now. I'm not a Stefan Feld game fan. They just don't work for me. I tried with Amerigo, eventually sold that one. They're just too dry. They're just too tedious and dry for me. I'm not a fan of Stefan Feld games. But, like I say, if it's in there, it's obviously got its fans. Although, to be fair, I've not seen this played anywhere, so, And then the third one was Detective, which is currently right behind me. Yep, so where's that? Yep, there. I've just done another case in it, actually, from the LA crime scene. I love Detective, and if I was going to pick a winner for this free, I know which one I would have expected to win, but I was rooting for Detective. I think Detective is a fantastic game. Love it. It's spoiler alert, probably going to be high in my top 100. But, you know, it's one that I felt, yeah, this requires a lot of thinkiness, but it's not difficult to get into. It's just a really good thinky co-op game. But as I kind of expected, it went to Wingspan. Wingspan takes the Kenner Spiel des Jahres, and frankly, I ain't got a problem with that. It's not simple enough to be Spiel des Jahres level in my opinion. I think that even though it's kind of on the heavier side of light, it's still, you know, not a ridiculously thinky game, but it's also not a gateway level game either. There's some tactical depth to it when you're manipulating the card and doing the combos. But yeah, if it's going to win it, perfectly fine. It's a good game, not the second coming as some people have made it, but you know, it's a very good game. It's in my collection. I play it. I enjoy it. You know, I'll probably even do a solo play of it at one point actually for you guys. So, you know, it's a decent one. Well done. So, Wingspan, just one. Congratulations. Pretty good all round, I think. You know, there were some good nominations for the most part. You know, like I say, you know I'm going to say something like that. But, you know, all in all, I'm very happy with it. So, what's the other thing I want to get off my chest? Well, there's some videos coming out soon, and there's a lot of reviews coming. I've spent most of this night reviewing a ton of stuff in 30-degree heat, you know, practically baking, having to muster what I can from the lights just so you can see me for this. But, you know, there's some good stuff coming out. We've got Century New World, This War of Mine, a Cosmos Anthology, what else we got? Jaipur 2nd Edition, Empires of the North is coming out soon. So, you know, there's a lot of good reviews coming. And oh yeah, and even a couple of games from Taiwan, like Raid on Decau and Frenemy Pastry Party. There's a lot of quality stuff coming soon. But what's the main two highlights? Well, firstly, there is actually a solo play of Pursuit of Happiness. Finally done, yes. The wide-angle lens and my smartphone in combination give me a way to do a solo play. So I've done not quite an experiment. I think this format will work. You know, there's some teething problems, but we'll see how we can improve. But yeah, there's a solo play of Pursuit of Happiness coming out on Friday this week. So it's already scheduled. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. But I'll be appreciative of any comments and feedback you have as to whether certain camera angles don't work for you, which games you want me to do a solo play of, you know, that kind of thing. Because I feel that if this segment setup works, then good, I can actually get more tabletop solo plays out, and I know you guys voted for them a good, what, 85 to 15% margin? Yeah, sorry, 85% versus 15% for tabletop and Steam plays. Not that I'm going to give up doing Steam solo plays, but you want tabletop solo plays, I'm trying to deliver them. So, hope you liked the video on Friday. Let me know your thoughts. But of course, the last big thing I want to tell you is the Top 100 is finalized. Yes. Every year around end of July, beginning of August, it's the anniversary of me starting the Broken Meeple, which must be 6 years ago now. 6 years of doing the Broken Meeple. And it wasn't all YouTube. It was all written reviews to begin with. And then I did a bit of YouTube and a bit of writing. And then I eventually stopped writing and went straight onto YouTube. It evolved a lot over time. I mean, if you were to look on my channel and look at my original videos, which were in my old flat, when I was barely using a basic camera and didn't know the meaning of lighting and stuff, oh my God, I dread to look at those now, actually. They're poor quality. But, you know, I was starting out. I was new, you know. You learn these things. You pick up stuff as time goes on. You improve the technology. You know, you still have some issues here and there, but it's all in all, it works quite well. But I'm glad to see how the channel's evolved over 6 years. But the main reason I'm telling you that is because when it gets to the anniversary, I do my top 100. Yes, top 100 games. This collection has about 200 odd games, I think, in this, because it's all these shelves and another sort of like couple of these or something in the other room. So it's about 200 games, I think, in my collection, maybe slightly more. And, you know, all the games trying to rate a top 100 is hard. I use Pub Meeple. They have a ranking engine on a website. By all means, check out that website. It is a great ranking tool. And essentially, I put in every single game I can up to a certain rating and then try to rank them to find my top 100. I think 2 years ago when I did it, I was ranking 150-something games. And then last year I ranked 160-something games. This year I ranked 183 games. And the craziest thing is that in those previous years, because, you know, games were still coming out and I was learning a load of them, you know, the ratings I think were between sort of 10 and 7 as to which ones I was putting in the ranking tool. This time, with the exception of maybe up to 5 games max, and they were cherry picked by me to go into the ranking tool. Every single game that went into that ranking tool is something that I have previously rated an 8, 9, or a 10. So these are games that I find excellent. Like, if you put them on the table in front of me, I'm gonna wanna play them. Some more than obvious, of course. That's some more than others, of course. That's why it's a top 100. But yeah, you try doing these, because essentially what it does, it flares up 2 games in front of you and decides, like, you know, it will appear on the screen and it just goes, right, these 2, you know, pick one out of these 2. Which one would you prefer, Jaipur or just one? Personally, probably Jaipur, but you know, this might have been an easy choice for you, but trust me, you get, when it starts picking your favorite games ever, oh my god, it hurts so bad. I mean, like, when you got to pick between your number 1 game and your number 2 game that happens on the chart, it's like, which one do I like better? I don't know. And I've got to factor a lot of stuff into it. You know, I've got to factor things like, you know, how often do I play the game? How often do I desire to play the game? How easy is it to get into? How many people have I played it with? How much thematic juiciness is there in the game? How much do I enjoy playing it? How much does it engage my brain? There's a lot of stuff I have to contend with when trying to consider whether something is higher in the top 100 than others. But it's finalized. So I haven't recorded any videos for it yet. I just basically have a list, fully complete, analyzed out, so I know what my favorite publishers are in that list, I know what my favorite designers are in that list, I know all the movers, I know the shakers, I know which ones have left the list, which ones have joined the list, which ones have re-emerged onto the list. I've got all the analytics for you. But of course, what format am I doing it in? And I'll explain this in like very rough detail in the actual first video I do, but I wanted to get the detail of it out now in this vlog. Basically, last time I did 10 videos of 10 plus an aftermath, which basically went into, you know, like the ones that didn't make the list. That was a lot of work. Believe me, the top 100 is a lot of work. It takes long enough just to do the ranking, let alone to do the videos. I'm not doing 10 videos of 10 again. It's just too much to do on top of all these reviews and solo plays and top 10s. So what I'm doing this year is I am going to do the first 3 or 4 videos, I haven't yet decided on how many of them, in batches of 20. So I will go through these games, I will talk a bit less about each game, but I will basically go from 100 to 81, 80 to 61, 60 to 41, and then I'm umming and ahhing as to whether I do the next few videos in batches of 10, so 40 to 31, 30 to 21, etc., or I do another batch of 20, so 40 to 21, and do the top 2 in batches of 10. One way or another, the top 20 is going to be done in 2 separate batches of 10. That's just the way it is. But which would you prefer? Do you want me to split 40 and 30 into 2 batches of 10, or would you rather I got through them in a batch of 20? Essentially, the format is going to be wide angle, so it'll be pointing at me, and I'm just going to talk about the games. If they happen to be behind me on the shelf, I will pick them up and show them to you, but otherwise I am not going to get every single game out and show it to you because it will take forever. Not to mention, bear in mind, I've got to put the things back afterwards. In terms of pictures, again, they will be limited. I mean, if I have a decent picture of them, I'll put them up, but mainly I think they'll just basically be a what they call a lower third across the screen, which will have the designer, the publisher, the number, well, hopefully the number, and the picture of the game, so you can at least see what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to litter the top 100 with a ton of photos because it will just take too long. It takes a long time to edit those top 100s, and I think for most people, a picture of the cover of the game is all you really need, because if you like the sound of the game when I talk about it, then you'll go off and research it on Board Game Geek. But chances are a lot of you watching already know these games and don't need to see more pictures of them. You just want to know my thoughts on them. So that's kind of the thought I'm going with, although maybe I'll put more photos on for the top 20, just because they mean that much. You know, they are the creme de la creme in my list. But believe me, just because a game is at 20 versus a game at 100 does not mean I don't love that game. I love all these 180 games that I've had to rank. And believe me, the ones that I've seen fall off the list, it's like, oh man, but I do really like that game. You know, it's like, it's sad sometimes to see them fall off. But there's so many games out there. We're getting thousands every year. The lists are going to change. The tastes are going to change. And there's only room for 100 games. But it's coming. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get a video out before the end of July, but no guarantees on that. But certainly, as soon as August starts, there'll be the first video. And then I'm going to spread them out throughout the next few weeks after that, maybe one a week, maybe more frequently if I can record them quick enough, but definitely one a week. They'll definitely be like that. But saying that, if I do one a week, we won't be done until the end of September. No, I'll try and do them more frequently than that. Maybe 2 a week. I'll try to. Like I say, I will try and get them out as quick as I can. I don't want to let them span out for too long. But yeah, I look forward to doing them. It's a great list to do. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. To mark the 6th anniversary of the Broken Meeple. That's it for me. I'm going to get on and cool down because it's 30 degrees outside and I'm really sweltering like crazy. But also, I'm going to rest my voice. I'm going to get on with unwrapping some cool stuff. I've just had some deliveries in from a site called BGG Expansions. I've just basically got some component upgrades and I'm going to unbox and start putting them in. So I've got some baggy like starfish and submarine stuff for underwater cities. I've got bird houses for Wingspan. I've got plastic tokens for Wingspan. I've got plastic buildings for Lords of Waterdeep. And I have the plastic meeples for Lords of Waterdeep. And what else? Oh yes, and I've got plastic tokens for Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition, the search tokens and all that lot. And just to rub it off, if I can reach it over there, a tile token for Azul. Finally, I have one. So I got a lot of unwrapping to do. So take care. If you like what you see on the content, please subscribe to the channel. It will mean so much to me. And for now, I'll see you on the next vlog, review, top 100, whatever. There's a lot of content coming out, guys. I hope you enjoy it, particularly with this diverting back and forth between the 28mm lens and this wide-angle lens. So far, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from you guys, though. It means a lot to me. It just gives me the motivation to keep going. 6 years have passed. Let's see if we can get it to 7 before I go insane. All right, take care, and I'll see you on the next Broken Meeple review.